All right. I guess I should have cleaned up a little bit. Well, runners, we're allowed to look a little messy, right? Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Good. We are,
Cam.
and Susan from Road Races, and we're here to talk all thing Ocean State races, which is next Saturday.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday. You're right. All our races are on Saturday except for this one.
Mhm.
And now we have a secret. Let's see. You want to see if anybody's actually watching? Should we say it out loud?
You can see there's one
Oh,
viewer.
all right. Um,
List will upload later to the YouTube too. So that's if you want to say it or not.
I guess we'll give it a little clue to anybody who's actually watching us on YouTube. We will have some big news coming up in the next week. We have been awarded the permit from the city of Providence to host the Providence race next May 4th. So I guess it's a little, anybody who was watching us on YouTube, that's kind of going to be our big news. We're pretty excited about it. We've worked very hard with the city to find a course that would work. And it is the start and finish is going to be in Bald Point Park because of everything that's going on in the city of Providence for everybody that lives around here. So we're pretty excited about that, but a lot more to come on that. We have got nearly all of our approvals. We're just waiting on Pawtucket traffic. I think is the very last one when we run maybe a half a mile in Pawtucket, I think. Yeah. So that's the last one. But we hope to have some answers this week.
Mhm.
All right, back to Ocean State.
All right, yeah. So if you're watching, just question in the comments and we will answer if you got any. But other than that, I'm going to fire away with some questions that I have.
All right.
All right. Parking. Talk to me about some parking on race morning.
All right. So if you get there early, we have parking in the west lot and the south lot. We are in the north lot. We don't let anybody park in the north lot because that's our festival site, and it would be too much of a risk to have cars kind of going in and out of that festival lot while there's people milling about. So I know people are always like, well, why can't we park there? I'm like, too much of a risk. We keep that gate closed to let people mill about the parking lot and have festivities. So west lot and south lot will be open. Last few years they have filled up though, and later. So what we're going to try and coordinate this year with the volunteers is we'll have a sign once the lots are filled up to go find on-street parking. Narragansett has lots of on-street parking near the seawall, by the towers, in kind of on the streets there. Just obey all the parking laws there. I mean, I did a race down there a long time ago. I actually got a ticket because I did not pay attention to the parking sign. So yes, pay attention to the parking. But there is lots of on-street parking once the parking lots do fill up. The advice, as always, is get there early.
Yes.
Yep.
This thing is crazy behind you here.
Sorry.
It's going with as you talk. It's
yeah,
very weird.
Yep.
Next, traffic situation. Like, are there going to be any roads closed in the morning to make it hard to access that parking area?
Yes. So we do close the road at 6:30 in the morning. It's going to be 6:30 because the early starters go off at 6:30. It might even be 6 a.m. And that's going to be farther down. So you will still be able to access that parking lot. But as the race time approaches, it does get trafficy and congested. So our theme is arrive early.
Get there early. Well, what time would be a good time?
I always say at least an hour beforehand. So if your race is at 7:30, get there before 6:30.
Good time, not at least. What's a good time to get there?
If for me, I get there between 6 and 6:30. Okay. If I haven't picked up my bib, go get my bib, go back to the parking lot, enjoy the sunrise. It's going to be beautiful. You are at a beach, sit in your car, stay warm, do your warm-ups, and just be ready to go for the start of the race.
Okay. Aid stations, what miles are they located at, and what is going to be served at them?
Wow, I think that's a better question for you than for me.
I mean, it's usually pretty much even numbers. You'll find 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. How many are there? 10 aid stations. 10. They're just at different spots. Like sometimes you'll hit the same aid station twice as you go through them. And then there will be water, there will be noon, there will be goo, there will be, what else is there? Bananas
at some of them.
Sometimes people need Vaseline. Usually we serve Vaseline at every aid station.
We don't serve it.
It's self-serve, I should say.
Yeah, but it's not to eat. It's to put on any
Someone
blisters.
ate it by accident.
Yeah, I know, by accident. But so if someone's handing you a popsicle stick with something gooey on it, that's Vaseline. Don't
eat it.
Don't eat it.
That guy wasn't happy.
Yeah, it's for blisters.
Where's the start line?
Start line is right in front of the north parking lot at Narragansett Town Beach.
And then is the start and the finish the same?
They are within sight of each other, but the parking lot, the finish is actually in the parking lot. You'll kind of run in and kind of do like an L shape around the parking lot. The start is on the road.
Yes.
Yep.
Good question here from Don Dingle. Thank you, Don. Can you just show up early? I mean, can you just show up for the early marathon start, or do you need to register for the early start?
Good question. So we will assign, because we have these very strict time limits with the municipalities, everybody that's 5.5 hours or longer for the full marathon will be assigned the early start.
Mm-hmm.
I always recommend taking it because there will be a sweeper at 6 o'clock. Our trucks will be following that's not 6 o'clock, but the 6 hour runner. We will be cleaning up at the 6 hour mark. If you want to do the early start, it is assigned by your expected finish time. So we automatically assign those when we seat our corrals. What I will say about the early start, it's only for the half marathon. I'm sorry, it's only for the full marathon. The half marathon does not offer the early start because the finish line technically is open for the 6 hours. So you don't really need it for the half marathon. If you finish in under 4.5 hours, you will be disqualified if you've taken the early start. If you are in the early start, you won't qualify for age group awards. That's because there's not as many eyes on the course and not as many people. So you have like a clearer line of running. Believe it or not, like when you start with a couple hundred people, there is some weaving and bobbing to get around people, and that is a disadvantage. And there's lots more people on the course to make sure you're not cutting corners. You're going where you're supposed to. So that's why we eliminate the age group option for the early starters. If you are assigned for the early start, get there 10, 15 minutes to report to the timer to the start line. That's 6:20. And if you have any questions about it, just let us know. You don't necessarily have to register for it, but you should know all those caveats in that these are the reasons that we do what we do. But yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Don, for the question. I appreciate the comment.
Yeah.
If anyone else has a question, please leave them in the comment. We'll answer them right away. They're just popping up right on the screen, easy for us to see.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the half K, the half marathon 5K split?
All right, good question. So 5K, everybody follows the first 1.5 miles. The 5K will turn around at Old Boston Neck Road. There will be a sign. There will be an aid station there. There will be course marshals that tell you. So essentially, you're going to follow Boston Neck Road, take a right onto Old Boston Neck Road. Is that the same? It's the same thing, like around that jug handle, right? That's all Old Boston Neck Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you loop around the sign, and then you'll head back to the finish. But lots of course marshals will be out there directing you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Half marathon split versus marathon split.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's at the 7.5-ish mile mark. It's at Bridgetown Road. There is a stop light there. It's Walgreens and Dunkin' Donuts are right there. There will be a cop, and there will be a big sign. It is a busy intersection. That's why the cops are there. The full is going to go straight, and the half marathon is going to take the right at that stop light at Bridgetown Road.
Mm-hmm.
Or Middlebridge. Middlebridge or Bridgetown?
Yes.
One of those. There's a cop there. And lots of signs.
So since this is near Halloween, this race, we do ask our aid stations to dress up in fun costumes for stuff. So is that for the runners to vote, or is that?
Yeah.
So the runners, you can, as you go, take note of the most festive aid stations, the ones you like the most, the ones with the coolest costumes, and whoever wins that vote will get a little extra donation to that charity.
Correct. We'll send that out in the post-race survey that you can vote. Yep.
Yes. So where would you suggest maybe some viewers to go watch on the course? Any good spots?
I feel like this is a very spectator-friendly course.
Mm-hmm.
It is open to traffic, but we will say is that it's a pretty quiet time in Narragansett, like very quiet. I think the good spots, if I were going to watch, is along Boston Neck Road, and it's across from that farm. There's like a little dirt path right there that you can kind of pull off and watch. You can park in the, I think it's called the John Chafee parking lot too, which is mile 12 in the half marathon on the way back, mile 25 on the way back, just before mile 1 on the way out. So I would go there. I would park at the Walgreens and the Dunkin' Donuts. That's a good, spot to cheer, and you can kind of warm up a little bit if it's chilly. On the way out, if you're going to the full marathon, like really anything that's on Boston Neck Road, there's like a post office that won't be open that morning. There is a farm there. I can never remember that farm, but I know that it's a super pretty place to watch because you can see the bridge from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very spectator-friendly course because you're kind of like the runners kind of go like this around the main part of the race. North Kingstown High School, great place to watch it because nobody's in that parking lot. But yeah. Good spots.
Okay. Question from Marissa. Marissa, will you be collecting and donating burner clothes? It will be a cold morning. You are right about that.
Yes. We make a good effort to do this. And yes, so if you want to have burner clothes, you can just leave them on the side of the road. At the start line, we ask, and we'll come around and we'll collect them. If you want to wear them a little bit longer, all we ask is what we do is we put out 5-gallon buckets at every single mile marker. And this is for any trash that you want to discard as you go. Mostly it's for gel packets. But if you have clothes or gloves or hats or anything that you want to throw away, put them in that bucket, not just anywhere random on course, or anywhere near that bucket. We're not really good at the hand-eye coordination. Well, you are, I'm not. And we'll collect them from there. We'll dispose of them.
Another question, AF Glazer, first time traveling to Narragansett, beautiful town, beautiful town. Is the starting line far from the parking lots?
No. Quarter mile, couple, no. You can see one parking lot from the other parking lot. I think there's just like a building in between. We do have a Google map that's on our course tab on our website, and the Google map, you can see exactly where the start line is versus where the parking lots are, if that helps you measure things out, but not even a quarter of a mile.
Okay. Toughest part on the course, what would you say is your insight? Maybe a very hilly, a big uphill, or a tough mile, would you say, on the course?
Good question. I think the toughest mile on the half is mile 6 to 7, because you're climbing out of Bonnet. And that's a pretty good climb. Yeah, 6 to 7. And then for the full marathon, I'd say, what is that, 18 when you're making that climb, like past the horses back up?
I'm not sure.
I think I'd say it's mile 18 is probably, it's a downhill on the way out and it's an uphill on the way back. It's right around mile 18 is probably the toughest.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about bid pickup? What's going on with that?
Sure. So you can do race day bid pickup if you want to. We don't always recommend it because it gets chaotic on race morning. We do dynamic bid pickup, so it does go really fast. Again, arrive early. Or you can go Friday to Roadrunner from 5 to 7. That's in Providence. That's for everybody that's kind of north of Narragansett. Well, you don't have to be north of Narragansett, but it helps if you are north. And then Saturday, we will be at Sons of Liberty from 12 to 5. And everybody who comes and picks up at Sons of Liberty can buy a Chair 2 beer for $1. And I do love the Chair 2 beer. So it's a good one. And Sons of Liberty is fun. It's a great place.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about post-race festival. Are there going to be vendors there? What are the vendors going to have? Sure.
So we'll have Stonyfield Yogurts, Olivia Organics, Wildfire Coffee. Who else is going to be there? Post-race massages are going to be there. I think I don't remember if the sauna company is coming to this one or the next one, but I thought or stretching. I think the stretching company is coming to this one. And I don't really know. Karen handles a lot of that. So.
Show up and you'll find out.
Yeah,
how about that?
Yeah, music and food.
There will be lots of good stuff, good food too. Award groups, age group awards. What are we going to be serving up for age group awards this year?
Yep. So we do open, which is for everybody that is wants to compete as in the open category, and then female. So that is, we'll award top 3 overall, and then top 3 in age groups. And that will be for all 3 distances, half, full, and the 5K. We do awards.
Okay. Another question from Don. Shout out, Don. Traveling from Central PA, what is one must do beyond the marathon thing in the area?
You want to answer that one?
Well, I don't know if I'm
right. It's Cam's hesitating because URI is where Narragansett is. He just graduated. I graduated a little bit longer ago. So he's going to say, go to Ocean Mist, which is a great place to go visit, restaurant, bar. Definitely go to the beach. We're at the beach, but I think Scarborough is a nice beach too. Ocean Mist usually has live music too, which is kind of nice.
Sunday's a good spot for Ocean Mist.
Yeah, that's true. What else? It's really a beach town. So there you can, go to Iggy's, get some clam cakes and chowder.
Yes.
Lots of really good seafood restaurants that are down there. They have this, sometimes they have the scarecrow thing, remember? In front of the post office by the towers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a drink at the Coast Guard House. Great. Weather dependent because their deck is really, really cool. feel like it's all food and drink that we're mentioning, which
Yeah.
you can walk along the beach, which is really very cool.
Go check out the campus. URI's got a great campus.
Yeah, they do have a great
Very
campus.
nice. Go check that one out. It's probably 20 minutes from the start line.
Oh, and it's alumni weekend too, isn't it?
That it is.
It
Big
is
football game Saturday if you're bored.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Yep.
For someone new to road races, maybe why don't you describe the Roadmaster series?
Oh, very good.
To someone.
Yeah. So you might see a lot of people getting jackets and singlets and hats and medals. These are our Roadmasters. So if you sign up for 3, 4, and now we'll go back to 5 races, road races, half or full distance, we award a signature medal. When you run 3, you get a hat. When you run, and I'm going to reference what's going to happen in 2025 because now we're back on track. When you run 4, you'll get a singlet, although we might change it from one year to the next. But 5, we always give a jacket. And we've been wearing these jackets because it has been a little bit chilly. They're really nice jackets.
Really nice.
Yeah, they're nice and warm. Little stretch to them, which I kind of like. Hoodie. But yeah, so we'll be handing those out this week. So and when you sign up for 3, 4, or 5 together, you get a discount on the entry fees. And we will open the 2025 series in December. We secure all our permit. We close out this year and we get all our permits for next year, and then we open the series.
Another question from AF Glazer. Typically very windy on course. Yes.
I'd say at the beach is generally a little bit.
You get that ocean breeze right on you in the morning. So the morning is going to be extremely cold.
Not extremely, but
I think extremely cold.
All right. Well, we started like 2 a.m., so it's really cold then.
But once you get out there, it doesn't get too bad. Once you get away from the ocean, more into the town of North Kingstown, it definitely will go down a little bit windier.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the course too is like along the narrow river, and you're still along the water, but you don't get like that ocean breeze like you do when, like, say, down in Bonnet.
Yeah.
Bonnet, you get a little bit of a breeze.
So we don't have really much questions left. If you have any questions, please ask before we sign off of this live here. Yes. 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Yeah.
But why don't you give your final message to the runners? Anything, advice, stuff like that, something runners might not be thinking of on race day?
Sure.
Some secrets you have.
Oh, yeah. And yes, we will have swag to buy. Are you wearing anything? I'm actually not wearing anything today either.
I just got my polo.
Yeah. We will have sweatshirts, hoodies, hats. Yeah, that's actually wearing your hat.
Mm-hmm.
Gloves. I had cross country practice this morning. Yeah, sweatpants, and the gloves are key. It's the best running gloves I've ever owned. Pint glasses, bib boards, stickers. Show the sticker. Stickers 13.1, 26.2. Yeah, so we will have lots of swag to buy, both at the bib pickups and that day. And advice: get there early. Always get there early. Don't add stress by trying to like miss the parking lot opportunity. Like, just get there early and stay as warm as possible. And most importantly, hydrate. We have seen, we have a lot of younger runners these days in the 20s. They say that a half marathon is the quarter life crisis right now. So it's great. Just make sure you take in your hydration and your nutrition, even when it's cold. Because you may not realize that you're sweating, and even when you're cold, it gets wicked away that much faster, and you do dehydrate pretty quickly. So electrolytes are important. Take in the noon. Take it in before you feel thirsty. Get those calories in. Don't skip it until you're like, oh, I don't feel good. Particularly for the full marathon, make sure you're hydrating and you're getting your calories in. I am a poor... do as I say, not as I do, because there's been a few marathons I've done where I bonked at the end because I thought I felt great and then I did not feel great. So yeah, ignore my performance and use my advice instead.
Yeah. For my talks with the Roadrunner guys, don't do anything on race day you haven't trained for. Don't switch up anything, clothes, shoes, anything like that. Make sure your body's prepared for anything. And the day before, hydration and nutrition is more important, honestly, sometimes than the day of. So just make sure you're taking that serious the day before. Stay
as warm as you can beforehand. Like, trash bags are always a great option because you can just cut the holes in them and they protect you from the wind. In the morning when we're getting lined up. But yeah.
Other than that,
don't go out too fast. Everyone does that. Don't go out too fast.
That's what Pat said. But yeah, be on the lookout for that post-race survey. That really helps us out. Any other comments, please reach us on our socials and at info@roadraces.
One more thing. Wednesday is our deadline for transfers and deferrals. So It is a hard deadline. So because after Wednesday, we are not in the office that much anymore, and we can't manage it from the computer. We're out on course, putting signs out, loading trucks, bid pickups, things like it's a lot of coordination. So that's why we do have the Wednesday deadline. So make sure if you don't feel like you can make it, you take that option. And it's very liberal, but just make sure you take that option before Wednesday.
Yeah. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Don. Thank you, AF Glazer. And thank you, Marissa, for your comments. It really helps us with the flow of this video. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in.
All right. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you all on, not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yes.
Good luck.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.